Alright, I'm going to do a video walk around of my completed Cooler Master Cosmos case mod. There's a ton of stuff that's been done to it now. I started out with a couple of simple things and I moved on to what you see now. The backside panel is almost literally like sat on in order to get it to close with all the cable management behind it. The left side panel still flush. I think I'm going to put a window in after all the stuff I've done. But I'm going to go around the outside and then I'll show you inside. Starting with the front panel, I took a 6-inch car LCD monitor and mounted it into the front panel. Simply cut it out and placed it in there and ran the wire inside the case, and it outputs to the graphics cards. I'm watching a movie on it right now, just to demonstrate. Moving up, occupying 3 hard drive bays, I used Lexan to paint and show through a NVIDIA logo backlit by 8 green LEDs that I have on a breadboard. Above that is my water cooling reservoir. The liquid inside it looks blood red. It is UV reactant, but I don't have any UV lights in there. And above that is the Stealth CD drive. I need to put something behind it because you can still see the drive back there. If you look at it from an angle though, it's invisible. So I just need to work on painting the drive black or putting some type of paper back there. Moving up, the Cooler Master cases all come with ungodly bright blue LEDs for the power and hard drive activity LEDs, so I switched them out for some less vibrant red LEDs just to go along with the red theme in the case. Moving up, I have a fan controller. Then I mounted the 3 knobs controlling 3 fans inside the case to the top panel. I have a temperature monitor monitoring just internal case temperature like hard drive and that area around the hard drive base. And below that is a small button to open the CD drive. Makes life a lot more simple, and that way I can do the stealthing without having to worry about how I'm going to open it. As you see also, this top panel is not the stock Cooler Master top panel. There was too much heat buildup from the 120mm fan right here that you see, so I took AC Ryan Modders mesh and used the leather paneling from here to cut out a pattern and make ventilation. Now it is much colder inside the case because the heat right here is getting exhausted. Like I said, I didn't do anything to the side panels. I'm going to put a window in, maybe just buy the Cooler Master one because it's easier. I'm going to spend too much time on this as it is. But now I'm going to pop the top on it and show you the inside of the case. Inside of the case, as you see, liquid cooled. But I'm going to start front to back on the mods. The hard drive bays, many people said, got way too hot. I read like reviews online where people were complaining about their hard drives dying from overheat. So I fixed that problem really quick, not only by mounting the optional 120mm exhaust fan for the hard drive cages, but also, I really hate to do this, on the underside of the case, where the filter is, I cut out the steel section and mounted 120mm fan between the fan filter and the hard drive cages, allowing me to use all 6 hard drive cages instead of cutting out the bottom 3. Moving on, you can see in the drive base I have my CD drive, and you can see the wires running out of it going to the top of the case. For the button, I have my liquid cooling reservoir and my pump power running behind. My liquid cooling lines run to my Danger Den Black Ice Pro radiator, dual 120mm Silent X fans, down to a Danger Den water block, and I tried to keep it as clean as possible, so I used right angle connectors to take that down to a secondary radiator, another Danger Den Black Ice single 120mm, take it to my dual 8800s liquid cooled. Also using Danger Den blocks. Those guys make some good stuff. And all that runs back up into the reservoir. I tried to keep it as quiet as possible, though the Northbridge fan is rather loud and I'm going to have to change that out. So I used all of the stock Cooler Master fans and Silenex fans. On the motherboard tray, a rather obvious modification, I cut a hole for the power supply. I really couldn't run the cable behind this bar because it makes it so you can't close it, and it's actually rather difficult with the graphics cards, but I managed to do it. With my cable management, there's a lot of stuff I couldn't run behind there because you couldn't close the door at all. So, the serial ATA cables I kind of hid behind the red line coming off of the graphics cards, and the rest of the cables I tried to keep as neat as possible, just coming straight down and out of the way. So there's no airflow implicated by my cables. All of this is running off the 650 watt Cooler Master power supply. And I think that's it. Oh, and behind the CPU, you can see where the CPU power connector comes over the top of the board. I cut out a square behind there so that not only can you remove aftermarket CPU cooler hardware without having to take the board off, but you can also run power cables up there, making it a lot easier for cable management. As you can see, this is my Cooler Master Cosmos case mods. There's a couple more I want to do. Like I said, I'm either going to put a window in this panel or I'm going to buy a window for it. But other than that, I think it came out great.
Let's rock.
By the way, if you ever have any ideas about modding a computer, don't. It's like a waste of a week of your life. But it looks cool in the end.